In this video, we're going to show you how to make some Christmas fabric chains. In order to make the chains, you're going to need 4 pieces of fabric, 2 dark fabrics and 2 lighter fabrics. You'll also need a packet of the Ultra Hold Heat and Bond. To make our Christmas fabric chains, we first of all need to make sure that all our fabric is completely wrinkle free. So the first thing we're going to do is iron all 4 pieces of fabric. As you can see, we've started off with a fat quarter size piece of fabric. We've got 2 lighter shades and 2 darker shades of fabric available for this project. We've laid down some paper towel just to save any glue from getting on our board and our table. We're going to place the fabric right side down and use our heat and bond. Now the heat and bond has a rough side and a smooth side. We want to make sure that the rough side with all the bumps goes face down onto the back of the fabric, like you can see here. Then we're going to melt that glue. So you're going to hold the iron onto the middle of the fabric for 8 seconds, then move it to the next spot and hold for 8 seconds, and so on and so forth until you've covered all 4 pieces of fabric in a piece of the heat and bond. You can cut it down to make sure that it's fitting the size you need for the fabric you've got available. Here we have our 2 lighter pieces of fabric, both with the heat and bond glued onto the back. We're going to now peel off the paper backing to reveal our sticky fabric underneath. So we're going to peel off the paper from both of these 2 lighter pieces, and then we're going to stick them together to create the start of our chains. So we've got one piece right side down on the table, and we're going to place the second piece right side up. So we have the wrong sides facing each other. Make sure they match up nice and evenly as best you can. Give them a good press, smooth out. We're going to get an extra piece of paper towel just to make sure we don't accidentally get any glue onto the iron. And we're going to press this again to melt the glue and join these 2 pieces together. Again, holding for 8 seconds and then moving to the next piece. So now we're going to start our cutting. If you have a pinking blade on your rotary cutter, this is going to be perfect to use for this project. However, if not, you can simply use a normal rotary cutter, or if you've got some pinking shears, you can use those with a ruler and a pencil to mark out where you need to make your cutting lines. But we're going to use our pinking blade on the rotary cutter to make sure all our edges are nice and even, and it just gives it a really nice extra finish instead of it being a straight cut. So first thing we need to do is straighten up the edge using the pinking shears so that we're already creating the texture. As you can see, it's created that lovely pinking edge. We're going to cut our strips into 3/4 of an inch wide. You can make any width strip you want. It completely depends on what you want to use your chains for and how big you want them to be. But ours are going to be 3/4 of an inch wide. So we're just going to go along each of our pieces, our 2 pieces of fabric that are joined together, creating strips that are 3/4 of an inch across. Once we get down to the last strip, we'll just cut this last one down, and we'll have 2 piles, one of a light colour and one of a dark colour of our cut fabric. As you can see here. Now we just need to neaten up all the edges so that they're also pink and they will match. We're going to do this to all of our pieces. You can line multiples next to each other and do multiples at once if you want to, or you could also use just some scissors if that's easier. And then we're going to cut each of these pieces in half. So they measure about 5 inches in length each. I'm going to do that to all of our pieces, and we end up with 4 piles, 1 for each fabric type that we started with. So we're going to take our first piece of fabric and simply join the two ends together with a little bit of hot glue. So if there are young children around, we might want to get an adult to help with this part. Just a tiniest little bit of hot glue on the end to join the two ends together to make a ring. Hold it in place, bit of a firm press to hold it together. Then grab the next piece. We're going to alternate light and dark just to give it a bit of contrast so it doesn't blend in too much. Again, loop it through the original loop, a little bit of hot glue on the end to join it together, giving it a nice firm press each time. And then we grab our next piece and we continue on. Keep joining all the rings together until you've run out of pieces of fabric. And as you can see, we're now building our chain. This would look great wrapped around a Christmas tree or as a piece of decoration above the window. As you can see here, we've added ours to our little mini Christmas tree. You can make these chains as long or as short as you like. Again, any width of material, it's completely up to you.